Casting her design required Pat to place her trust in others. Her search for a partner took her much farther than expected.
I went to other foundries. There's no foundry in Hawaii big enough to handle this project. I know David Hamilton because we taught together for one semester. He was here as a visiting sculpture professor. I trust David. I have come to really value and respect his expertise and his decision making. And I feel that's mutual. I think that's one of the remarkable things about this project. It felt like we could, even with the distance, communicate about the problems involved and whether or not we could do this.
Pat in Hawaii would make large gate net-like structures that looked a little like heavy cargo nets. In Tasmania, we'd unpack the box, spread it out on a sand bed, nail it down, and in accordance to Pat's drawing, would then pack the gate in sand. The process that we use to actually cast the gates is a foam vaporization process, and the process has been around in use since the early 1950s. The image is packed in sand and molten metal is poured through a series of channels into the sand. The molten metal on contact with the polystyrene vaporizes away and the resultant form the gates.
No one has worked with this in the casting process. And so that there's a kind of breakthrough in terms of being able to get qualities of cloth cast in metal.
There were two basic innovations in the whole procedure. One was the use of the polystyrene foam cloth. The second innovation was that the size of the nets, or the size of the gates, the total weight of each of these gates on casting is something like 500 kilograms or something close to 1,000 pounds, and that was well above the single pour capacity of the foundry. Through trial and error, we designed a way where we could cut the gate into a series of sections, usually 4 to 5 pieces, and insert stainless steel rods into the styrene ends, and means we could cast in 6 pieces. So the gates were then gradually built up one section alongside another section alongside another section to produce the full size and form of the gates.
One panel takes, I think, about a week of work just to do the casting, and then it's at least another 2 weeks for each panel to be finished, to be polished, to have the patina, the lamp black coloring put on it. I'm not going to be there when the gates one by one are cast or when they're all finished. David will be the first person to see them. The most critical time for me would be when each piece is being cast. I would love to see it at that point. Unfortunately, the budget doesn't allow for more such trips. I will see this up for the first time when it's installed at the Maui Community Arts and Cultural Center. That's hardly how I would choose to work. In a way, though, all along in this process, this long-distance collaboration, I've had to let go of a lot of things. And so it's going to be a delayed pleasure, a delayed celebration, when he finally comes and Bob Shee, the person he works most closely with, when they come and install. I feel that that will be our moment together, not necessarily the public dedication or opening, but really that moment when I first see them with those two people.
In art as in life, there can be no reward without risk. For this commission to be a success, the challenge of transporting and installing the gates still had to be met.
The total weight of all 6 gates is around about 2.5 tons of metal in cast form. Each panel that you see before you here is weighing something like about 400 pounds. It takes about 6 to 8 people to hold the gate, lift it up onto the hinge and put it in place. The hinges are built in such a way so there's a tremendous flexibility in adjustment within the hinge itself. So the process simply now that we're following through is simply to lift the gates out of the container and simply place them onto the pins that are already within the building structure. So I don't anticipate any major problems, we'll just simply lower them on and they're there.
There we go. Okay.
One of the things that stays in my mind all the time is the remarkable coherence of the three parties that have been involved and the sense of confidence in each other in actually working through the project. I think that's been really quite remarkable. I think the gates themselves are going to make a wonderful climbing frame for many, many children for many, many years to come.
It's not about money. That's not what, in the end, this commission is about. It's an opportunity for me to be challenged, to try something new. And it's scary. It could be a monumental failure. I wanted to see whether I could do it. I didn't know. I don't know what the impact will be after this project is over. Where do I go from here?